feeling my rank, I roll like a tank, you better not blink. Whoa, whoa, she feeling my pain, she grabbing a knife, she blow my brain. Pow.
It is Duke, Moby Duke Fitness from the Moby Duke podcast. Want to wish you all a very, very happy new year. Unfortunately, mine's not off to a good start. It's January 2nd now that I'm recording this, and unfortunately, my car broke down on the way to work today, and I wasn't able to work. So I missed out on some money. My clients missed out on some good fitness classes, so I'm very sad about that. But I think I figured out transportation for the next few days, so that's good. Just trying to keep my head up. Like I said, kind of been off to a rough start, but trying to keep positive, in this life with everything going on. So with that said, this topic today is going to be on the lessons I learned from 2020. I'm going to do more videos first off. If I really, really want to build a brand, which I do, I have to be more consistent with this. I can't be afraid to be judged or for saying something controversial. I have to say what I believe and I mean it. And if people disagree, that's okay. We can agree to disagree. Let's have a conversation about it. I got another chair. I got another mic. Let's make it happen, right? So I got to put that out there. I got to face my fear head on. I can't keep waiting for something to happen. I got to make it happen, right? And I have been doing some of those things. Just there are certain areas of my life that I want to keep improving. And fitness has been easy. Working out has been easy. Losing the weight was easy. Now I'm on a hypertrophy strength training program, so now I'm trying to put on muscle. But those things, I got tunnel vision. I'm in it all the way. I know I'm going to do it. I've been consistent with it. This, I have not been consistent with. And I haven't built up a following, so it's not like people are asking me when's the next podcast going to be. But I have to put my stuff out there in order to build that following. So that's what I'm doing with this video, with this podcast, and I hope it's going to be a really good one to start off the year. And I'm going to try to record a couple more within the coming days that I'm going to not slowly, but surely just put out there, right? So I got my notebook. I got a million notebooks if you guys didn't know. For people who do know me, they've seen me. Literally, I have multiple notebooks because I journal different topics and different things. Like my to-do lists, my tasks, my goals, my workout logs, what I ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, shit like that, right? So that's what I got going on today. And I think that the lessons from 2020 that I've experienced can relate to some of you. And to some of you listening or watching this, you may be like, what the heck is Duke talking about? Or you might be using more explicit words that I might have already said during this. So I'll try to keep it somewhat clean, right? That way, if I ever want to be monetized one day, I can be monetized. So I will be looking at the notebook again like I did last time when I came out with my Why You Should Meditate video. As you can tell, I've been keeping the scruff going, and I'm going to keep trying to grow it out. I just got some beard oil, so going to make this thing look nice and pretty and hope for the best, right? So the first thing that I want to talk about, what did I learn from 2020? Partying, partying, partying. So that means your recreational drinking. Could be beers, your choice. It could be vodka. It could be mixed drinks. It could be a rum and coke. I don't know. Everyone has their preference, right? That also includes smoking weed. And then you could add some other things in there as well. But I haven't been one to really experiment with harder drugs, thank the Lord, because I know I have an addictive personality and I don't want to risk my own health and my own sanity for that matter. But even generally speaking, partying, okay? So overrated. First and foremost, if 2020 taught you anything, it's that partying is overrated. And why do I say that, right? Well, people didn't have a bad 2020 year because they couldn't party necessarily. Let's be real. Because partying was distracting you from something else in your life that was already bothering you. Now, it's one thing when you do it moderately and you're doing it out of celebration for someone's birthday, you got a new job, you had a new milestone in your career or academically speaking, maybe you got 100 subscribers on your YouTube channel. You hit some type of milestone and you're celebrating it. The problem, I think, becomes when which is for most people, by the way, is you see the day turn to a certain day, this being Friday, Saturday, right, for most people. Thursday, if you go to CCSU, you people know what I mean. And you're like, all right, it's time to get fucked up. And my last couple years at CCSU, so this is going before 2020, I wasn't necessarily into going to parties, but I was still partying. I was still self-medicating a lot with pot. I was still drinking too much. And 2020, I've done the least amount of partying that I've ever done since high school. And it was very, very refreshing because you save money, you put your energy towards other goals because you're not hungover. You do some other hobbies. Mine obviously was fitness. I was doing the 75 hard challenge, so for literally 2 whole months, I didn't have a single sip of alcohol. That was phenomenal. I lost weight. I looked good. I looked lean. Not that I don't look good now, but I've put on some muscle, maybe a little bit of fat as well, so I'm not as skinny as I was in May of 2020. But overall speaking, partying is such a waste of your time and your energy because you are lowering your own potential. There are so many things you can do in life, and that is different for everyone. Some people want to be a veterinarian, some people want to be a nurse, some people want to be a rock star. Now I know like certain industries, right? It incorporates partying, but still you can focus on the music aspect of it, or you can focus on grinding as an athlete, as an NBA athlete, as a collegiate athlete. I'm not telling anyone to not have fun whatsoever, but what I'm saying is that when you prioritize the weekends because you get fucked up, that's showing some type of mental struggle because it means you're not happy in your regular day-to-day life. And think about that for a second. If you're not happy in your day-to-day life and you're looking forward to a 4-hour window on Friday and Saturday night and you're miserable the rest of the time, think about that. There's what, 168 hours in a week, and 160 of them, if we're including sleep, you're not happy with what's going on in your life. You are drinking, you're smoking weed, doing harder drugs, shrooms, acid, cocaine. Some people get on the pills, Xanax, heroin even. Some dark shit, right? Something's wrong. And for me, pot was my issue. Pot was really my issue. I slowly became less of a drinker over the years, which I'm happy about because it's a waste of calories if you ask me. And I enjoy the drunk more when I do drink now with my friends. It's such a more relaxing, exhilarating, nostalgic feeling. Just how it was when I came into college my freshman year and I was like, woo, I finally got freedom. I could do what I want. I can talk to the girls, right? Do all those things. And that's another thing too. Specifically with males, but let's be real, females too. We can't have a double standard when it comes to this. What do males hope to get at the end of the night? They hope to get action, right? That 8-hour window, that's when they're hoping and praying they get action because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Friday during the day, right? They weren't good looking enough. They weren't charming enough. They weren't showing themselves as high value the entire week, and they didn't want to go on dates or whatever the case was, and they're hoping these 2 4-hour windows, let's say, they're going to get some action, right? Because maybe the girl's more loose, because she's drinking, or she's smoking, or she's doing whatever. And what usually ends up happening at the end of the night anyways, let's be real, unless you are a guy that looks so good, like Zac Efron, just think of like just the good-looking guys that girls obsess over that happen to be celebrities, right? Unless you're that top tier, you're probably going back to the house with your buddies that night, which is completely fine, by the way. Just because you don't get action doesn't mean it was a bad night. But a huge motivator for people to go out is when they're single, they want to hopefully meet a girl or see a girl that they've always had a thing for. They follow them on Instagram or whatever. They hit them up on Snapchat and they never answer. But maybe if you see them at the bar, they'll change their mind, right? Not usually the case. So think you're investing and you're putting so much energy and time and hope into such a small window of time to be your best days, your best years, right? Think about how many people have said, "Oh, college was the best years of my life and now I'm miserable." Or I'm not as happy as I was in college. Well, why is that? Why do we all struggle with that? That's not good. We should be looking forward to what we're doing in our line of work. We should be looking forward to going to the gym. We should be looking forward to creating that project, recording that podcast, recording that YouTube video, whatever it is that's outside of celebrating and camaraderie with your friends. Like I said, it's okay to do it, but when you're focusing so much of your time and energy on that, looking forward to that, and you're not living in the present moment, you're bound to be less happy when you are celebrating those times because you were beating yourself up, kicking yourself in the ass, maybe without you even realizing the other 160 hours, including sleep, which I know doesn't really count. But you catch my drift. Easy math here. Okay? So that's the first thing. Partying is just incredibly overrated. I'll put it to you. Let me put it to you another way before we go to the next topic. What's a better weekend, okay? Getting a girl's number after spending $50 at the bar on a Friday night to then have them ghost you, or to not get any girl's number, let's say, but you got 2 workouts in on the weekend and you got that project done, or you got that day to just relax and unwind, maybe watch some football without the drinking and the cannabis, right? Just be able to relax, unwind, chill out, right? Which day is better? The second option, obviously. And we still have people hoping for the best with the first one, even though the chances are this slim of you getting action. Even if you are a good-looking guy, which is I'm gonna make a whole nother video, or I'm gonna talk about it later, the whole relationship aspect of things. So that's the first thing, is that partying is just overrated. So what I'm gonna transition now to that kind of goes with the partying is overrated thing is discipline equals freedom and health equals wealth. All right. The more disciplined you are, and by the way, that's not a quote that I came up with. Jocko Willink's the one who came up with that quote. So if you don't know who Jocko Willink is, please finish this video or podcast later and go listen to him, because he knows more than I do at the moment. He's way more experienced in his life, older, all those things, former Navy SEAL, all that stuff. But think about it. The more you stay on top of your things, the less stress there is. Because you know you had to take care of everything you had to do, whether that was go to the gym, go to your job, do X, Y, and Z for your business. You got it done, and then you feel good about it, right? You feel good. What happens when you procrastinate? What happens when you don't do something that you said you were going to do for your New Year's resolution, and it's already day 2 and you haven't fucking done it? You feel like crap. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel satisfied. That's why the 75 hard challenge is so popular, because even though on the days you feel like crap, you still get it done, and then afterwards you just feel so damn good. There are so many days I wanted to quit, and unfortunately I failed it without my own intentions. But I got to day 60, and while I was so hurt over not succeeding, I saw the path I developed for myself. Listening to all those podcasts, reading all those books, taking those progress photos every day, working out twice a day, experimenting with yoga, experimenting with resistance bands. Even I was running, and I hate running. I work out almost every day now, and I don't run. I do other metabolic workouts because I hate running that much. But back then, I ran. I faced it head on because of the discipline aspect of it, because I didn't want to do the same workout every day. That's pretty empowering. And the health side of it, the more you take care of yourself, the better you eat, the less alcohol you drink, the more water you drink, the less soda you drink, the better your body and your mind are going to feel. and down the line. I mean, I'm young right now. I'm only going to be 24 in a few weeks. But for people who haven't seen my transformation photo on my Instagram, I highly recommend you do, because where I was going from all that smoking and all that drinking, even though it wasn't necessarily in parties, it was more of groups of 10 to 20 people by my last couple years of college, outside of a few parties here and there. I did not look good. I looked very unhealthy. And I also didn't necessarily look happy. I was numbing and medicating myself. I'm not saying I have everything figured out now. By no means I do. I'm still figuring it out every single day. But I know I've made that progress, especially in my health. And I'm grateful for that. And I feel good and accomplished about that. And I've had friends who were skinnier than me for a very long time saying, "You've inspired me to go back to the gym, because while I didn't gain the weight you did, I've felt like crap all these years or all these months I haven't gone to the gym. And now that I see you doing it and I've seen your transformation, they want to do it again." And that feels really good to me. It's not about earning money for me. I want to be able to earn money while doing it, because it'll give me more time to invest into it. But even if I don't make money doing any of this at the end of the day, the discipline of it, the freedom of it, the excitement, the creativity I get from it is super fulfilling. And I hope it continues, and I hope that I create that freedom for myself, whether that's spiritually, mentally, or financially. If not all three. All three would be ideal, right? So take care of yourself. Going back to the first topic I talked about, you can still enjoy yourself, but make sure you take care of X, Y, and Z first. Don't do nothing all week, and then Friday comes, all right, time to get lit, time to eat happy hour food, blazing barbecue wings from Elmer's. Shout out Elmer's. That was me. I'd rather work out Monday through Friday, do everything I had to do, then eat the wings, because I know overall in the week I wasn't in a caloric surplus, so I'm not gaining the weight, right? I'm maintaining, or I'm losing weight still. That's what you want. You don't want to overindulge in things. The third thing, relationships come and go. Some of you probably watched, if not all of you, watched my gymnastic rings video from a few months ago, late September of 2020. My allergies are acting up. I'm not being emotional if you're hearing me talk right now. My relationship of 4 years almost ended, or it did end. My relationship of almost 4 years ended. That's what I meant to say. I never thought it would. I really didn't. We had our ups and downs, like any couple. We bickered. Sorry, let me grab a tissue. It's just my cat sits in this chair, and I think I found out a couple days ago. I'm allergic to cats, so having a little bit of a tough time not getting my throat itchy and stuff like that. So I apologize. So going back to the topic, there are things I was doing that were wrong and weren't working with the relationship. No relationship is perfect, and usually, yes, one person is screwing up more than the other. I'm not saying I was wrong or right, and vice versa to my partner at the time, but what I'm saying overall is that person being my best friend for so long, and for that to end, it just goes to show you friends and relationships unfortunately come and go. They come and go, especially in today's society. It seems like almost everything is temporary, and a lot of people use each other, especially if it's a partner like that, right? For their own satisfaction, for their own gain, for their own popularity, for their own clout. And they don't genuinely care about the other person. But even when they do, which majority of my friends of the past have, right? It's not they didn't intentionally screw me over, but I've had so many of my friends essentially not be my friends anymore. From high school, from college, from post college, especially in 2020, where it feels like the sky was falling. It's incredibly hard to stay in touch with everyone as connected as we are. And social media has put another wall in front of it. If you ask me, it's created more of a barrier because what it has done is it makes us rely on those platforms to keep tabs on our friends. And that's not healthy either. But in the grand scheme of things, social media didn't always exist. The reality is that you can't be friends with everyone, and you don't need a bunch of friends. Uh, and people you were best friends with or good friends with, they're not going to be there anymore. I've tried to even, I don't know if they're going to be listening to this, but I tried to meet up with a high school friend, and a couple times I couldn't meet up with them, and then I tried to, and then I was kind of put off, like, oh, I'll let you know, and then nothing happened, and I haven't heard from them since, right? And that has happened a lot. That has happened since I was in high school. Not everyone's going to be your friend, and when people are your friends, they might not be your friend forever. It's just the way things are. And it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. Doesn't mean you're a bad person, and it doesn't necessarily make them a bad person because they could be totally oblivious to what they're doing, or they don't care, and that's on them. But my point being, don't waste your energy into people who aren't going to reciprocate it in some type of way. You don't need people asking you how you're doing every day, or even once a week or once a month necessarily, because people are busy. It's life, work, relationships, other friends. I think most of us have learned the world does not revolve around us. Even celebrities, because even when celebrities pass away, unless you're Kobe Bryant, someone like that stature, we might celebrate your life for a day or two, but then the world's still rotating, and things go back to the way they were. And it's kind of the same way with friends. And sometimes people will not communicate with their friends until it's too late. Something happens. They get in an accident. They get hurt. They possibly die. Suicide. Life, it's a cruel world out there. But you have to understand that not everyone's going to be there for you. Which leads to my next thing. The only person that gives you validation is yourself. You have to literally be best friends with yourself. You cannot rely on other people to give you that approval. That's not how it works. It's the other way around. And it's super hard in today's society because we are constantly comparing each other with one another. We're comparing ourselves to one another. Even though we never see the full picture, right? Because we're not living inside their head. We're living inside our own brain. We only have one brain. Now, you can pick up things through intuition, through like certain choosing signals, and just all this random psychological stuff. But still, overall, you gotta support yourself. You have to be your biggest fan, no matter what. There are people who support me. There are people who are still friends with me. This is not me trying to be sad and get people to feel bad for me. But you're gonna have people who are friends. You could post something that's sad, and not all of those friends are gonna reach out to you. Yes, sometimes it's malicious, but other times people just they glanced at it too quickly and they were flipping through their phone and it was already gone. It didn't even get their attention span, right? It's just the way things are. You cannot stay friends with everyone. You're not going to be friends with all your friends forever because life happens. It's just the circle of life, and it is what it is, and that's why you need to validate yourself and be best friends with yourself and be independent. If you're not independent, if you're not self-sufficient, if you're not disciplined, you already lost. And I've done a lot of losing. And now I'm trying to do some winning. I'm trying to mature and grow as an individual. And the people who do want to be in my life, who do want to be my friend or my partner one day, if, I decide to disintegrate the red pill, right? I'm going to reciprocate it there. But if there are other people who they don't want to be a part of my life anymore, all right, fuck you, kind of, but also not fuck you. I get it. You know, you can't be friends with everyone forever. And it's not always personal, it's just life. So make sure you validate yourself. I'm just looking at this list here, seeing if there are any other big points that I wanted to get across today. Um, those are the main points, I'd say. I'm reading over my notes right now. I have other things that I wrote for my own personal needs, more specifically, that I don't necessarily need to get into over this podcast or video. But yeah, think about everything I've said so far. Because I feel like a lot of people my age are stuck in this position, but there's people who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s who probably still feel this way. Validation comes from you. You're your own best friend. You have to be. It's not selfish, it's just practical. If you can't support your own stuff, how is anyone else going to? But with that said, not everyone's going to be your friend. And people who are your friends cannot be your friend forever. It's up to them. If people don't want to reciprocate that energy, that's on them. That is on them. Third, now I'm going out of order, but to heck with it. Partying, overrated. Hands down. Any way you look at it. Doesn't matter if you're in Europe, Barcelona, which is part of Europe, obviously, in Spain. You're in Miami. You're in New Britain. You're in the city, New York City. You're in LA. You're in Memphis. You're in Montreal. Occasions. Do it then. Certain milestones. Do it then. Birthdays, etc. Not every weekend. It's not worth it. Maybe your freshman year of college? Sure. After that, there's no goddamn point. And which one am I forgetting here? Oh yeah. Discipline equals freedom, health equals wealth. Which goes back to the partying. Be disciplined so you continue to work on yourself and you're proud of it and you're going to continue building milestones. You are going to be making that snowball bigger and bigger and bigger. Obviously, it's hard at first because you got to get up the hill first, right? We all do, whatever our passions are. But once we reach that peak, momentum builds and builds and builds. And that doesn't mean you peaked up here. It just means you did all the hard work. Now you let the momentum do its thing for a little bit until you have to rebuild again, right? Rebuild that snowball. So make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure that you're disciplined. Read, write, meditate, exercise, journal. Those 5 things right there, please do. You do not have to be passionate about fitness to do that. Fitness has to be some type of priority. You don't have to lift weights or do all these crazy workouts that I do 5, 6, 7 days a week. But you got to do at least 3 days a week. If you don't, your health is just going to be in jeopardy. I mean, there's a reason the scientists and the doctors say 150 minutes a week of moderate exercise is key to limiting your chances of heart disease, cancer, obesity, high blood pressure, and all of these things you could think of. Don't forget nutrition, though, too. You don't have to be super, super picky, but make sure, you hold yourself a little bit accountable. That's why I like writing a food journal, because I don't write the calories down. I just write what it is I ate. Okay, I ate 2 donuts here. All right, no sugar for me tonight. Stuff like that. Stay disciplined, and the rest will follow. So I really, really hope that this video and this podcast gave you guys the insight to the things I really learned in 2020. And I hope that it inspires some of you. It gave you guys some insight. Maybe some of you already knew this stuff. But then there's 2 people who knew it. There's people who knew it and did it, and then there's people who knew it but didn't apply it. And I have a feeling a lot of you are the second one. And that's not an attack on any of you, because there are things I know I need to do, like this podcast, and I haven't been doing it. So make sure you stay disciplined. Make sure you stay happy. Make sure you're your own best friend. Don't waste time partying. and understand that not everyone's going to be there in your corner, and that's why you have to be your biggest fan. So with all that said, I wish you guys a happy new year. I'm looking forward to making more of these videos and podcasts. I want to see this grow, but I don't want just myself to get the growth out of it. I want you listeners, you viewers, subscribers, fans, whatever, wherever you might be, because a lot of you are my friends right now. I want that growth to happen as a collective of society, not me as an individual, because I won't be here forever, and none of us are. So we have to keep building society. We have to keep society growing. So hopefully, whoever we teach, we pass it down to them, and they do that, and they do that, and it's just more and more momentum. All right, guys. Thanks again for listening. Hope you all have a blessed day, blessed weekend, blessed month, blessed year, and just continue to take care of yourself and keep fighting the good fight. Peace.
I cannot deal with that. I needed a. I'm just counted up, getting this guap. I'm chilling the cut. I'm chilling these bitches. I'm know what it's up. I'm feeling like I'm just go for the pressure. I'm making they naked. I'm ripping that door. I stand in the go. I'm whipping that shit on the bit. All up, whipping the beat. I'm killing this shit. Peace. Feeling like Pacino. Whipping the Nino. I'm putting the free throw. I'm shooting a free throw. Feeling like Curry at free throws. I feel like I'm playing. Hold up, what could I say? Thankful I got a new day. I'm feeling like damn. Feeling like I'm Kitty. I'm pulling the snake. Pulling the snake. I'm ripping his neck off. Ripping his set off. Now you see me, yeah, I'm coming out, I'm crying out. Oh, yeah, you can stop me now. Oh, baby, it's just drip or drown. Yeah, I searched and then I found. Yeah, one that holds me down. Yeah, deeper to the ground. Yeah, 8-6, so you heard that sound.
Pandora Nights.
Yeah, feeling in my heart. Yeah, you work hard. I just wasn't sure, baby, if your love was pure, baby, but I'm just